Okay, Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutation, I came out to push this word in truth and in sincerity. I have a little testimony. I'm not going to get into details. I'm not going to display anything that's going to, ruffle any feathers. And I'm not going to put my business out there. I will say this, that I was dealing with this woman for over 15 years. 17 years to be exact. And I'm a manager on my job, so you have men and women calling me to let me know if they're coming in or if they're not coming in. That's what they do. They got to report to me. I'm the manager. So they will either call me or they will call the supervisor. But some people will call the supervisor, some people will call me because they feel comfortable talking to me, I guess. I don't know. But you have certain women, they will call me at 11 o'clock, tell me they're going to be late for work or they got an appointment, they got to leave early or they're not coming in. And I'll be like, all right, cool. So now, this particular woman that I was with, she'll be around me and she would hear these things and she would complain, but I'll be like, listen, I'm a manager. They have to call me to report. There's nothing going on. So one day, these women, they like to eye hustle, and she was eye hustling and she saw me punching my number to my phone, my passcode, and she got it, she memorized it, and she went into my phone. And she was checking my text messages and my phone, history, and she saw one particular number that one female was calling me at a high rate. She was calling me a lot. We were talking. She would see that it was only, and she would see that the rest of the people, it was like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes. But this one particular phone call was over an hour and 40 minutes. So she took an alarm to that and was like, yo, what is this? So I'm telling her, like, she was going through some shit, so she wanted somebody to talk to, so I was talking to her. I'm a manager. Oh, so now you somebody, piddle to lean on. So I'm like, all right, this is crazy. So to make a long story short, like I said, I'm not gonna mention no names, I'm not gonna mention no details other than what I'm telling you. She took it upon herself to try to get grimy. And whenever I try to get grimy, try to do some grimy shit to me and accuse me of some shit that I never done. And try to get the backing of somebody else that was in her life, but that person declined to do that. So once it was revealed to me what was going on, I approached her. And she had a falling out with that particular person that she tried to get to coincide with her fucking demented scheme. And when it didn't work, she, tried other means. But it was revealed to me through the person that she tried to get to wrong me without a cause. And everything is of the Lord. The Most High was on my side. The Lord had it whereas that shit did not happen. Because had it happened, I'd have been fucked 2 worlds to Sunday. But the Lord had it whereas that didn't come to fruition. That didn't come, it was no fruits in her wicked ass labor trying to conjure up some shit that never happened. So when it came to light, I was like, listen, I'm done. I can't trust you. All these years wasted, and you gonna do this over a feeling that you don't have no proof over? You thinking I'm fucking around with somebody else? I'm fucking around cheating on you? I'm not cheating on you. There's no such word as cheat. There's no such word as cheat, man. I'm not cheating on you. Because it is what it is. So to get everything into light, she tried some bullshit and it backfired on her. And then when it came to light, what she was trying to do, she kind of like, like try to justify what she tried to do. No accountability. And that's the majority of these women out here. They would do shit and have no accountability of their actions. Because they feel they justified in however delusional way they thinking, demented delusional way they thinking, they feel they have they have to have no accountability. So now my thing is, there's a such thing as accountability. And the reason why they think these way, because you gotta honor your husband. That's because we're not married. That's because we didn't go by Esau's laws. Once I put my rod on you, you became my wife. You've been my wife for almost 17 years. would have been going on 18, but you destroyed that shit. Just because you was assuming something that was not true. You went into my phone and found something that you didn't want to find, and then you put in activation your wicked ass scheme, and it backfired on you tremendously. Why? Let me tell you something. How you are supposed to be, you know, your desire should be towards your man. So lucky for the rant. But this is Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. We go right to 16. And it tells you in Genesis chapter 3, verse 16 that your desire should be towards your man. It says, I'm driving, so I wrote some scriptures down, so I'm trying to read at the same time driving. So I gotta be careful because I don't want to rant in nobody and I don't want to get in no accident. So I'm gonna go off the top of my head with the scripture, but I want to read it so we can get the gist of what I'm saying. So it reads, it says, unto the woman, this is the Lord speaking, unto the woman, it says, he said, and it says, you know, let me just get to a secure location where I can read it and bring out the scriptures, you know, without butchering it. You know, I could give you scripture, Genesis 3 and 16, but I want to read it. So let me just get to a secure place where I can read it, because I'm trying to read and trying to drive at the same time on the highway, and that's not a good look. I don't want to rant nobody. I don't want to get into an accident, so I'm just going to, you know, just bear with me, have patience, brothers. Salakia, just bear with me, have patience, you know, and bear with me. Once I get to a stop sign, right now I can read it. It says, Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. It says, unto the woman, he said, this is Yahweh speaking, I would greatly multiply your sorrows. What's the sorrows of the women? We're going to go into it. And a lot of women can't even answer that question. You ask a woman, you know, a particular question, they can't even answer why they go through the birth pains they go through. It says, I will greatly, let me get to another light, because I'm, you know, trying to maneuver and read and speak and drive at the same time. It says, and unto the woman, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows and thy conception in sorrow. Why do women go through birth pains when they're about to give birth? The Lord allowed it to happen because before that, prior to that happening, before Eve went off, it was just a pleasant birth. But women have to go through sorrows and pain and anguish to bring forth a child. And the Lord allowed that to happen. Why? Because of the of Eve's transgression. Eve going off and dipping and dabbing to different philosophies because she's the weaker vessel. She's the weaker vessel, so that happened because she's the weaker vessel. So that's why the serpent, which had skin color at that time, when you go into reincarnation, that serpent is Esau and Edom, the so-called white man. But at that time, that serpent had skin color. So it says, this is Jeremiah's in the brain. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. And to the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows and thy conception. Conception means when you conceive and you give him birth. It says, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. How is that? What's that sorrow? Birth pains. But you ask the average woman, why do they go through birth pains while they haven't given birth? They can't tell you why. Because they don't know. They don't know. They have no clue of why they're going through the birth pains they're going through. You know? And then it says, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be toward thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. But in this modern day age we living in, feminism, these women is not trying to hear that. These women are not trying to hear a man ruling over them. They feel that they could do better by themselves, they're independent. And the only nation of people that I hear saying that I'm an independent woman are the nigger women, man. You know, the nigger women. They're the only, let's be straight and forward with everything I'm saying. The only ones that saying they don't need a husband, they don't need a man, is the nigger women. You don't hear the Chinese women saying that. You don't hear the Arab women saying that. You don't hear the Japanese women saying that. You don't hear the so-called Arab women saying that. They are Ishmaelites. You don't hear them saying that. You only hear the so-called black women, which are from the tribe of Judah, saying these things. They're Israelites. Why? Because of the curses. So you don't hear these things from these different nations, but you hear them from the so-called black women, and they would trap you up, and they would do things to you that's not right, and you got to deal with that shit. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? These women are straight up wicked, and they would do all kind of things to trap you up, man. You know, and they don't realize that their desire is toward their man, but they got this feminist attitude that they don't need a man. They could do bad by themselves and defy the scriptures. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Your desire is towards your man, man. Your desire is towards your man. You understand him. But being that, and the man's gonna rule over you, regardless of what you think, your status. You have correction officer status. You're a correction officer. You know, you have status as a correction officer, but that don't mean shit when it comes to Yahweh Shah. That's Esau's shit that he got going on, man. Esau being the so-called white man. My thing is, I'm gonna tell it to you straight. Her desire was towards me, but she filled with that feminist energy, the energy from the feminist movement, and she's talking how she's talking. She's devised some wicked plan against me. Let me stop ranting and bring out more scriptures, you know. But I got a phone call from her last night. You know, today's Saturday, you know, and Friday she called me because she was texting me and saying good morning, even though I was like, we done. And everything she had in my house, I brought to her house. Everything I had in her house, I moved it out, and that was that. You know, so, you know, she would text me good morning every morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good night. And after a while, I stopped texting back. So she called me and was asking me, what's going on? Why are you doing this? Because I don't trust you. I don't trust you. You know, your desire was towards me, but you felt some kind of way because these women, and then I showed her with certain men calling me, but you took upon yourself to go into my phone. I hustled and went into my phone and started getting different numbers. And you had these women on my job calling me saying, hey, some women was saying, you know, calling me and was threatening me and all that, and asked me, am I dealing with you? And I'm like, yo, I got a husband. No, he's my manager. So this is not just me imagining these things. You had women calling me, telling me, yo, you had some women asking me, calling me, asking me, you know, are we involved with each other? I'm like, no, that's my manager. I have a husband, you know? And it's just crazy how she was just doing certain things. You know what I'm saying? That was slacky for that. She was doing certain things that was uncalled for, you know? I can go on and on and on and on, and she was just being unruly. And then when you approach her with her accountability, she had no accountability. She would throw it over. You was doing this, you was doing that, oh, this, that, oh, then that. You know, whatever the case may be. You doing this, you doing that, this, that, and the third. That don't make no sense. So now, like it says in Genesis chapter 3, verse 14, to 16. I'm gonna go right to the point, like I said, And then when you go to Job chapter 39, the reason why all these things was happening, because she couldn't recollect that, oh, I'm a manager and he's doing his job. He got people working under him. He got men calling him and he got women calling him. But she's in a jealous rage and she feels something is going on. She had a dream. You had a bad, like Apostle Tahar said, you have a bad tuna fish sandwich or a bad turkey sandwich, and now you got in the bed, now you having a dream of me cheating on you. Ain't no such thing as cheating. It's called committing adultery. And the only way you can commit adultery is if you're dealing with another man's woman. But if you're not dealing with another man's woman, you're dealing with a woman that has no man, it's not adultery, it's not cheating. But if you go out and commit adultery with another man while you got a man, now you fucked up. Because that's adultery, and that's a sin worthy of death. But the Most High deprived the woman of this knowledge. Job chapter 39, verse 17. It says, because Yahweh have deprived her of wisdom, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. It says, neither have he imparted into her understanding. She don't understand what's going on. These bitches are fucking oblivious to what's going on in the society right now, man. And that's why they are headed for a total reality check. They're going to find out the hard way. You're going to find out, you saying your slogan is you don't need a man. But you're going to find out you need a man. And it's going to be too late. Because every man that you disrespected, came up against, now men ain't trying to even date no more. They cool being single and they cool being in a relaxed state. Hey man, I could be in my house by myself, relaxing, chilling, watching movies, putting up videos, and I'm cool with that. But the minute somebody, that I'm dealing with, but she don't give me problems. I'm dealing with some woman now. She don't give me problems, but who knows how long that's going to last. I like my comfort zone. You got your place, I got my place. When you get on my nerves, I leave and I go to my house. You can come to my house for a week and stay, but when you get on my nerves, you got to go home. And the same thing is when I'm at your house. But because the women is deprived of understanding the wisdom, they can't accept accountability when they're wrong. They can be wrong, but they don't want to accept accountability because they will throw up, oh, but you did this, you did that 10 years ago. So why do you stay with me all these years and you felt some kind of way about that? Just think about that, man. Women, they would do some shit, and then when they caught and they bullshit, they don't want to accept accountability. They would try to gaslight and point the finger at you. And man, I ain't with that, man. It says back in Job chapter 39, verse 17, because Yahweh have deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. They do the things that they do the things they do. It says slack here. Because Yahweh have deprived her of wisdom, neither have he imparted unto her wisdom understanding. They do the things that they do not, roughly paraphrase it, that they do bring. It says, matter of fact, it says, let me read it again, slack here, brothers. Because Yahweh have deprived her of wisdom, neither have he imparted to her understanding. Understanding. Now, they don't have no understanding of the scriptures. They don't have no understanding of what's going on in reality, because the average woman, white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, Japanese, in a perspective language, I'm saying in a perspective, Japanese, I'm saying Moabites, Ammonites, Hamites, the different tribes, the nigger women, which are the Judite women, the Edomite women, they have no understanding and they don't have no accountability what they have done, what they do. So it is what it is, man. It says they do things that, hey, and a lot of these women, they do things that's promiscuous. Oh, let me say it correctly. Promiscuous, and they do things that lower their standards of being a wife. A high body count, which being promiscuous, and they look at that as being, you know what, my choice, my body. We have a bunch of women that have committed all kind of murders, do abortion. I have a family member that had 7 abortions. So she is a serial killer. But in the eyes of society, she's good. But in the eyes of the Most High, she's a fucking serial killer. This is Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Right now, Esau's society is thriving, but it's soaking in the drain. And you're starting to see that. You have a lot of women on TikTok talking shit against the apostles. Then you got a lot of Edomite women that could be Jake, saying that they want a Jake man. Because times is getting heavy. Times is getting, sticky to the point whereas you're going to need some kind of security. So me saying this right here and going into this lesson, Salakia, for ranting, this bitch got to get her shit together. I don't want you no more. I can't trust you. Almost 17 years of being together, and this is how you treat me? But okay. Now, you texting me every day, how you doing, good morning, good night. I would text you back, but I stopped texting. So she gave me a call last night, which prompted me to do this video, asking me what's going on. And I told her, I can't trust you. You try some shit, I ain't gonna get into the details, that backfired on you, and now you want sympathy, and yet you can't even, have accountability of what you did. You know you was wrong, but you're trying to justify and gaslight, and I ain't got time for that. So, if you want to go out there and have another, get into another relationship, go ahead, have at it. I'm not mad. Do your thing. You want to start dating? You get on before I get on the dating market, go ahead, do your thing. I'm not worried about that. You want to get on the dating market, do your thing. I'm not going to lament. I'm not going to be sad. I'm going to be happy for you. Go ahead. That's all I'm going to say. My testimony, Slacky brothers, for ranting. But Isaiah 32, verse 9. Rise up, you women at ease. When you go down and you read that scripture, a lot of these women, they're going to be taken in the great number, pursuant to 2nd Ezra 5:1. It's not a joke, man. They're going to be taken in the great number, and they're going to get fucked up. 9 ways to Sunday. So with that, once again, slacking for the rant. But, sometimes you just got to vent and you put it on video. But I ain't revealed certain things. I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying nothing because it's not nobody's business. So with that, I'm going to say Shalom, giving all praises once again to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Wakak Wadash, Shalom.